Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So happy you're here with me today. I am working on something a little different than usual. I am doing quite a bit of print then cut on this particular card with a little die cut that will stand off the card with some dimension. So let's get started. Since we're doing quite a bit of print then cut, we're going to start here in Cricut Design Space. The way this works is I brought in several different images. I brought in grass from Spring Seasonal. My grass second and third layers are a slice using the grass from Spring Seasonal and a rectangle. And I'll show you how I did that. My barn is from Old West. The cloud up here and the cloud on the inside of the card are from Graphically Speaking. My digi paper, the blue background here in the sky, is polka doodle, starfish, and sandcastles. And the barn digi paper is from We Are Three, and that's from the birthday bouquet, and it's called Wooden Fence. I'm not sure that that's available any longer. However, there are some fun wood papers over at We Are Three, so I will link them below, but I don't think this particular pattern is still available. Okay, this little horse and the bale of hay are both going to pop off the front of the card. They are really cute little die cuts here. And the horse is from Country Life. And this little bale of hay, which is very important on my card, and I'll explain that in just a second. The hay bale is from Old West. The reason that hay bale is so important is because I am putting this card into this challenge at FarmQuest. Now, the theme of this challenge over at FarmQuest is hay or straw. Well, obviously this was a challenge I just couldn't pass up. Since, I have all these horses and all they do is stand around and eat hay, especially in the month of January, February, March when there isn't any grass in the Midwest. So I just had to take part in that. And I will link that challenge below. Also, if you're interested, there are still a few more days to play. Let's take a look at just a few things I did on this card, just to give you an idea. I'm not going to run through the entire card doing it, but I will give you some ideas on how I made this work. So if we take a look at the different pieces, this piece right here, that is just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That is actually just representing the card blank. Okay. Then I have a little layer behind the blue sky, behind this piece right here. And that just simply sets it off a little bit. The rest of all of this, except the horse and the bale of hay, are all one piece print and cut. So I just started from the back. I started with a piece that looked like this blue right here. I added my cloud. Then I added my barn. Then I went ahead and added the front of the barn. And then I placed it amongst the layers of grass. Now this grass it just comes in looking like this, except I believe I did make it a little bit taller. Now, for right now, I'm going to do a Command Copy, Command V. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to turn it back into the cut, the basic cut. That's how it came in. What I did to get these is I got a rectangle shapes. I shaped it to the size that I wanted. I can unlock it, bring it down. Okay. And then I just brought it down here. I changed this by unlocking. Did that. While it was still selected, I came up here to flip, and I flipped it vertically. Then I brought it in here, lined it up, selected the two, and I hit over here in my right hand column, slice. This gave me this kind of shape up here. Now, I had even less. If you want even less, I'm just going to go back. All you need to do is shorten this up even more. And that will give you less spikiness, for lack of a better word. I'm going to bring this to the front so you can see it a little bit better. And if you want to make sure that you're right at the edge, you can select those two. You can hit align top and then slice. And see, that'll give you even more variation. And then if I want it to look different, then I can take this, make a copy of it. So duplicate. Then I can take this, I can flip it horizontally, like so. Then I put one on top of the other, and they look a little bit different. So I can just make this one shade of green. I can make this one another shade of green. Whoops. Let's go back and make the front one a light shade of green. There we go. And you can see how they look a little different. It just gives you a little variation there. Now mine is bigger. It's just simply because I stretched my grass out longer when I did it. And that's what made the difference. So you can play with that all you like, and you can come up with different variations of how that grass would look. Okay, once I got all of my pieces in place, I went through just for fun and I offset them. And I offset them with the smallest offset I could do. So in case you don't know how to do that, I will go ahead and I'll just offset this grass for you. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this again. So there's my grass. So before I did the print then cut, I chose my grass. I made it a basic cut. I hit offset. I took it all the way to the middle. Then on my keyboard, I just came over one time to the right with my arrow. The arrow on my keyboard, I pressed it one time to the right and I hit apply. Now, I don't want that bottom on there. Okay? I have a choice. I can either print it with it on and then slice it off, and slice off the sides if I don't want the black on the sides, which I didn't, or I can come in and slice that off myself. I can come in here and choose a shape, come in, line the shape up right next to that. I can choose my square. Then I can hit shift on my keyboard, hit offset result. I can hit slice, and it will slice just that part off. I'm going to go ahead and send that black to the back. I'm going to come in and do the same thing on the right side. And we're going to come back now and slice this side. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up right next to that black square. Here's my slice result. I'm going to go ahead and pick that slice result up right there. Go pick up this rectangle, or square rather, and I'm going to slice again. Pull this out of the way, pull this out of the way, And now I've gotten rid of that also. Let's go ahead and delete that. I'm going to go ahead and move this back to the back. And then if I want that black off the bottom there, all I need to do is the same thing again. I just bump it up here to the bottom. So I'm going to choose this piece. I'm also going to choose this slice result piece. And again, I'm going to slice that away. And then I'll bring back the green grass that was there. I'll move this to the back, and there it is again. So you can see that I got rid of most of that black that was around it. So now I can take this and say flatten and see how the black is gone. And that's how I got rid of that black for this to sit up here. Okay, so this gives you a pretty good idea of how I put this together. Keep in mind when you do this, when you slice, has to be done one layer at a time. I could not lay this entire barn on and slice it at one time. You have to go layer by layer. It's kind of a pain and it takes a little while, but once you do it, if you save it, then you can reuse it again and again for different cards, which I would definitely recommend saving something like this in Design Space so that you can make some changes. You could later on come in and add a cow or add a cowboy or a rancher, a farmer, a wheelbarrow. There are lots of ways you could use this barn setting. So if you have any trouble, you want to try this and you're just lost in what I did, let me know and I will do a complete video on just this idea. But for now, let's go on over to the craft table and we will assemble this, and maybe seeing it while I assemble it will answer any questions you might have. So here we are at the craft table, and here are some of the things I'm using. That's the inside liner to the card. Here's my print and cut sheet that will be the top layer of the card, along with the little piece that frames it out and the card base. Now here are my little die cuts, and on these die cuts I used these different green Copic markers. It's not great Copic coloring, it's just something to add a little green over the paper, which had a pattern to it. And there you might be able to see the pattern on that paper. Sort of a rough, checked kind of look. And all I did is I just took those Copics and rubbed over. And I did the same thing for the hay that's in the little guy's mouth. Okay, we're adding a little Zig 2-way glue. I'm using Zig 2-way because his little legs are little and it's just easier to work with this glue pen, and it just makes it real easy to put that in place. Now you see back on the left side there is his back leg. It's a darker brown color and it comes in as a different piece. I cut them all the same color and I just colored that with a Copic marker also, just to save myself some time. So I'm not sure I caught that. Oh yeah, there we are. We're going to go ahead and glue that into place, and you can see there. And he has a little blaze on his nose that will also glue into place. Then we're going to move on to the hay. I'm coming in again with my 2-way Zig glue, and I'm just putting it right along where the cut for the twine would have gone. Instead of using the cut, I'm going to use embroidery floss. And this is sort of to replicate the twine that holds the hay bale together. I don't know how much experience you all have with hay bales. Horses love them. People hate them. I can tell you that putting up hay is one of the hardest jobs I have ever done. It is just no fun, and especially if it's a hot summer day. But I have digressed. So let's get back to the craft video, shall we? I'm taking a little bit of score tape and I am putting it over the ends on the back side, and then I peeled that off and now it's going to be sticky on the back. To give this hay bale just a tiny bit of dimension, putting a little bit of popcorn box on the back, and I just glued that right into place. I'm going ahead and I'm putting the top layer of our card front onto that little piece that sort of frames it out. And now I'm adding both of those layers to the card base. This card's going to end up measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I'm going to put the inside liner in and just one little strip of ATG there. Now it's time to start thinking about our die cuts for the front. And so I'm going to take my bale of hay and I'm just going to use a little bit of this score tape, just put it right on the back and just glue it into place without any more dimension. Because remember, there was already some dimension with the popcorn box. So on my horse, I'm going to add quite a bit of dimension. So I've got some 3D tape here and I'm trying it out and I'm deciding that I would like one more layer. So I'm not going to make you sit through that because that's pretty boring. I peeled off the liner of all of that tape and now I'm going to just stick him right into place. Hey, that's it. That's the end of this video. Thanks for joining me. I know there was a lot that went on in Cricut Design Space that I didn't go into a full explanation. If you would like one, again, just let me know and I will gladly do a video on that. I'll leave links for you, especially for the Farm Quest Challenge if you're interested in that, or if you want to check out any challenges in the future over there. Have a wonderful week and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.